Talking about the Titans here. The Titans.
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone. It's gone. It is Bedlam at the bank.
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Podcast right here. You already know. Go fucking subscribe. Go follow.
You are now listening to the 302 Birds Phillies postgame show with Eric, Brendan, Dalt, and Ballpark Tommy. Proudly powered by TickPick. Check out the link in the bio for $10 off your first order today. Let's take it to the show.
I find it funny how this team looks like absolute dog shit the past 2 days. But then they can come out and just have an absolutely amazing game with a shutout. This is like the fourth or fifth shutout of the season. And I mean, like, they're back to raking teams. They didn't get the series win, but they salvaged a win today in a very dominant way. I mean, they won the game today 6-0. They looked absolutely dominant. And I wish they won the series, but that's all you can ask is just not to get swept. They're one of 3 teams this season to not get swept yet. Knock on wood. But what's up, everybody? Eric, also known as Shard, here at the 302 Birds post-game show. And we have Ash joining us from the main podcast. What's going on, Ash?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Happy that Phillips is looking like the missing piece.
Yeah,
absolutely looking dominant. We're going to talk about that in a second, but great win today. What they needed coming out of the All-Star break, and the Braves lost as well today. So
yes, that was big talk in my house. Was as long as we can keep this up, it's good because the Braves lost, so we can
back up to 8.5 games ahead. I think Dalt's joining us in a few minutes. I know he's fiddling around with an electric lawnmower.
Yes, and I'm managing some things over on the Instagram side of things too because I've been I've been off today.
Going into our first topic, Philly Phillip, absolutely dominant outing. I did not expect such a dominant outing from him today. I thought he was going to let up at least 1 or 2 runs, but he looked like he belongs on that mound. I know there was an interview with him a couple weeks ago after the one inning that he pitched with the Braves where he said that everybody that steps into that batting box, he's pitching like he absolutely hates that person. It looks like he's taken that to heart. I mean, he goes 6 innings pitched, only lets up 4 hits, no runs, no earned runs, no home runs. 1 batter walked, only had 3 strikeouts. His ERA is at 2.81. But I mean, like, he had a lot of ground out and pop outs, and not more that you can ask from the guy. I know this is only his second start. His last start against the A's was a little shaky. He was dominant. He let up a couple runs, but he had the offensive support behind him. And it seems like he had the offensive support behind him again today. So I'm hoping that he gets another start. I don't know what the injury timetable is right now with Turnbull and Walker. I want to assume that they'll be back. I think Walker should be back by August. I really don't know. But at this point, if Phillips can continue to do what he's doing, keep Walker out, keep Turnbull out, and let the kid pitch. And, if they come back and it turns into another Turnbull situation, I think you keep Phillips in the bullpen. I don't think you send him back down to AAA. But again, that's a decision for another day. But do you have anything you wanted to add about Phillips?
I mean, he's just a feel-good Philly story, right? Ultimately, when it boils down to it. And it was so great to see him pitch as well as he did today. In these sorts of games, you really just need somebody that's solid. I was expecting him to give up a couple of runs today, but he really held down the fort when he needed to. And then again, our offense stepped up when we really needed them to. So it's been just fun to see him. Hopefully he'll get another shot here. The issue is like our injury timetables right now are all over the place and they keep changing. So I really don't know. Last I heard, it could be another couple of weeks for both Walker and Turner, but originally they were saying Walker would only be out for like 2 weeks. So it's, it's all over the place. So I hope we can at least get him more comfortable so that if we need to rely on him more, we have that option down the road.
Right. And I think if Phillips starts again, I think his next start would be, if I'm looking here at their schedule, I want to say it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. It would be the tail end of the Guardian series or the start of the Yankees series. Looking at, So he would pitch against the Guardians or the Yankees, both very good teams. But the Pirates today, Pirates are a really hot team. They were coming off of I believe 7-win straight. So again, he pitched pretty dominant. I think he's the missing piece, the missing fifth starter. And if he can keep this up, keep him up here. Let him pitch. His story's phenomenal. He's a New Jersey kid that has wanted to play for the Phillies since he was young. And that's all you can ask for. But speaking about the offense, and I kind of want to go into our next topic. Everybody knew it was coming as soon as they heard the news. Not to be too political, but for those of you that didn't hear, Joe Biden today dropped out of the presidential race. And as soon as that happened, Nick Castellanos must have had some ringing in his ear. Because I swear this I swear this man, like, he's either a psychic, he has some kind of witch energy. I don't know, but every time something happens, I think he had a home run when Donald Trump got shot. I think he hit a home run when the Queen died. I think he hit a home run when the bridge collapsed.
Yeah.
So like, this guy loves tragic moments or just important things, and he has some kind of connection to that negative juju out there. But he hit a double today. He hit a home run, had 1 RBI, went 2 for 5. Everybody in this lineup honestly did something today. Swerber was 0 for 3, but he had 2 walks, and even though he didn't hit, you'll take that. It's still him getting on to first base. Swerber went 0 for 3. Turner went 1 for 5. Harper 1 for 5. Boehm 2 for 5. Casty 2 for 5. Sosa 1 for 5. Wilson 1 for 4. Stubbs surprised me today. I really thought he would have another pathetic outing, but Stubbs 2 for 3, and then Pache as well had a hit today. So it seems like everybody hit. They went combined as a team 11 for 39, 6 RBI, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts among them for 6 runs. So, again, just seems like this team is getting back into the groove. I personally still think they need to make a trade with that lineup today. It seems like they're trying to find some kind of platoon, maybe in case they do an outfield trade, because it's either you put Rojas and Marsh in center and left, or you put Wilson and Pache in center and left. And I think they're trying to find who's the better duo in case they do an outfield trade.
Absolutely. I think a trade is imminent. I don't really think I would rather us not spend any more capital, not get rid of any prospects right now, and just find the groove with the team that we have. My biggest concern is just that locker room and keeping that locker room presence the way that it is, and bringing in any one of the names that they're talking about, I think could very much mix that up. And I don't know if that's the best idea. I am hopeful that once JT comes back, probably tomorrow, And I don't know, Eric, that's a topic. I apologize. But hopefully, too, once we get him back in the mix, we will really be smooth sailing here for a little bit compared to all of these roster changes that have had to be done the last month or so.
You said who comes back? I'm sorry.
JT.
So he came back yesterday. I think they're taking it easy with him.
That's what I thought. Because he's not back. Like, he's been reinstated, but right.
Yeah, and especially I think he had meniscus cleanup or something.
He had a minor tear, so yeah, like something that does not sound very fun.
Yeah, so I think especially with his position, I mean, even last night, like his pop time was amazing to throw out that runner at second.
Yeah.
But I still think he needs some time to rest and not,
yes,
have him.
He's back, but like getting him back to like that.
Right. And speaking of trades, the one thing that I wanted to bring up and the one guy they're looking at is Tanner Scott. He has a 1.3 ERA, only giving up 2 runs in his last 30 from the Miami Marlins.
Okay.
So, like Jonas said here, who are they looking to get at the trade deadline? There's a lot of names that have been thrown around. I know there's some reports that came out today that said they're not looking at Rooker anymore from the A's. They just don't feel like he would be a good fit for us, which I can understand because I believe for the A's, Rooker is more of a DH, and that's kind of Kyle's position with us right now. Rooker is somewhat uses outfield, which I could see them using, but if Rooker's only going to want to be a DH, it's just I agree with it. It's not going to fit. I know some other names that have been thrown around are, like I just said, the pitcher from the Marlins. You got, why am I blanking on names right now? You got
Luis Jr. is another one from the White Sox.
Luis Robert Jr. I believe somebody from the Cubs, and I'm blanking on his name. There's a couple guys. It's hard to remember names because there's just so many that are being thrown out right now. But honestly, they have about 9-10 days left until the trade deadline closes. So I would expect an outfield and a closer, especially after that disaster from Alvarado the other night, which I'm surprised Alvarado was able to go out tonight and go 1-2-3, but whatever. Going into the next topic, though, the one thing I want to talk about, and I've seen a lot of people talking on Twitter about it, Trea Turner. Trea Turner's making a slight run for MVP. I mean, he's been absolutely dominant. His average the last couple games has been almost a 300. He had an RBI again today, and it just seems like every time this team is down and out, he's coming through and he's hitting. And again, couldn't ask for more. He hits a single today. He was 1 for 5, but I mean, again, this guy is he's tearing up the base pass. His defense has been pretty dominant lately. I know he has a couple errors, but I still think he could be a silent runner for MVP.
I'm not so sure. I love the guy, but maybe it's just the games that I've been tuning into lately. He's been erroring a lot. And again, on the offensive side of things, he's really been stepping it up, and I appreciate it. But my dad and I were actually talking about this not long ago. Like, if he would have been in for like the full, if he wouldn't have gotten injured earlier in the season, I think it's realistic that he would be in the top 5 of errors in the league. Just because of, again, his track record has not been great. I would love to see one of our Phillies guys be an MVP, but I don't think it's Turner this season. Personally. I know.
How are you?
We're all good. How are you?
I'm great after that win today. I mean, how about that for the South Jersey kid? That's got to be exciting. Great shutout today. Great Phillies win. As a whole, a good weekend. Hope you guys are in the same boat. I even went down to the Delaware State Fair and am coming for Craig Kimbrell's job. So all in all,
yeah.
Is that where you were in that video? I thought it was the beach.
No, the carnies were in full effect, hustling me, Shard, calling me out. You look unathletic, kid. Why don't you take a stab at it? I'm like, all right. I may look unathletic and I may throw unathletic, but I don't get unathletic results somehow with luck. I just figured if I chuck the ball somewhat in that vicinity, there's so many fucking plates, I'm bound to hit one. Somehow, I would bet I would be better than Craig Kimbrell at it. But all in all, I mean, today was a good step in the right direction. I know the past 2 days have not been the brightest for Phil's fans. I've been hearing this bullshit on Twitter about the Whit Merrifield curse. You know, I know that that's going around, and it's like, what are you guys talking about? You're looking, and you know, it's funny. When it first happened, I thought in the back of my head, I hope that this team doesn't start to shit the bed, because everybody's going to talk about how Whit was the glue and we need him and this and that. It's not true. We see this is the same Phillies team by tragedy today. Unfortunately, Joe Biden says, well, tragedy for some people, I should say. Joe Biden says that he's going to step out from the race, and Nick Castellanos cranks one. So all in all, Phillies hopefully are back and keep it up. But I mean, I love this topic that you guys are on here. Apologize for just joining a little bit late. I don't know quite where we're at, but I just want to harp on Trea. I mean, the past month and a half specifically, he's really been sorry, my timeline's weird. He's been on fire. Like everything that this team is need. He's been that $300 million man. That's the simplest way for me to put it. He's been the guy that the Phillies paid him to be, and it's really nice to see that. And then some.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that with Trea, and honestly, I feel like with a lot of people on this team, if they can kind of find their groove coming out of the All-Star break, you have a lot of guys that can make a run for MVP. I mean, I know Alec Boehm was in the conversation at the beginning of the season. Bryce Harper, he's still in the conversation. I think he's second behind Shohei right now. But I think if Trea Turner can really limit, like Ash said, limit his errors, get some more at-bats, some more RBIs, some more home runs, I think he could be a silent competitor. And maybe, take some votes away from Shohei and get Bryce up there. I mean, if he can just be that guy that like takes votes away so Bryce can get it, I really feel like, honestly, Bryce having 3 MVPs would really set into motion his nickname of MV3.
Yeah.
But the one thing I forgot to mention about Trevor Phillips, the last rookie to win 2 games in a row was Cole Urban in 2019. So Tyler Phillips is having an absolute phenomenal outing, and I'm happy he got called up. But the last topic we're going to talk about tonight, the Phillies, they have another shutout game tonight. Win the game 6-0. This is, I believe, their 3rd or 4th shutout that they've pitched this season. I know Aaron Nola had one. I know Christopher Sanchez had one. And then they have a combined shutout tonight. And it's exactly what you needed coming out of the All-Star break. I know that, the last 2 games, they were kind of in a slump. They easily could have won on Friday, but Jose Alvarado wants to be, an erratic pitcher and just throw all over the place. Yesterday was, I don't even know what yesterday was. It was just,
I don't know either.
it was some kind of fluke or something, but
yeah.
I'm really hoping that they're back to the way that we know them to be, them being the best team in baseball. I mean, we've lost 2 and won a single game coming out of the All-Star break. Same for the Braves. They've lost 2 to the Cardinals. They won a single game. So we're back to 8.5 games coming out of the All-Star break. So really no net ground gain for the Braves. And we go into playing, I believe, the Twins and then the Guardians. So
yes.
2 really good teams coming up. And then it's the Yankees. So we'll see what happens with that. But how are you guys feeling about this shutout? This team in general?
Yeah, I'm excited. It was good to see them kind of hit that groove again. Just looked it up. It's our 3rd of the year, which is most teams do do not get that many in a season. So that's exciting. We also are one of, if not the only team to not get shut out yet. So even though we have, terrible games, we still typically do something positive. And again, it's really the game that we needed after the last 2 games that were terrible. Last night, I don't really know what you would call that, but Friday night was just bad. Just pure, you cannot give up leads like that under any circumstances. So this is just hopefully gives them the confidence that they need to go into the next couple of games. We are headed to Minnesota tomorrow to do that away series against the Twins. And then we are back in Philly on Friday. So we have Thursday off. But thankfully the time change is not much. It's just an hour between Minnesota and Philly. So that should be good.
Yeah, so it's just us, the Mariners, and the Guardians who have not been swept. If the Mariners lose today, then it'll just be us and the Guardians.
Okay.
So, how do you feel about the shutout?
Yeah, I feel like this is a good spot for Phillips mentally. Whenever a pitcher can go out and get a win, get a shutout, especially at a young age, like Shard already highlighted earlier in the show, this is the first time a rookie pitcher is doing this 2 times in a row. I think he said since 2018 or something. So that's pretty nuts that this kid is not only going out there winning, but he's shutting out teams. The Pirates are no means, one of the best teams in the MLB, but I don't think that they're one of the worst either. They might be one of the lower teams, but they're not a bad team by any means. So, especially when you're a younger guy, when you're going out there at any point in the major baseball league and you don't have that experience, going out, putting a shutout against any team is impressive in itself. So, I really was happy about that when I watched it because I think that that's just going to boost his ego, boost his self-confidence, and hopefully just carry into momentum for the Phillies. Baseball is a big momentum sport. It's a big individual sport. When you're on that mound, when you're at that bat, it's just you and the other guy, your team, nobody's coming to save you. So it's very based on how are you feeling? How's your confidence? How's your, mojo? And I think that this is only going to help his mojo. That's my new word now, mojo.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, that's all I have. You guys have anything else you want to add?
No, great win. I mean, sometimes less is more. And the way that the Phillies played today, we can sit here and tell you guys how great it was, or you could just go back and watch it for yourself. So we appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're all working super hard on this. So those little things really help out a ton.
Yeah, and the next couple games are night games. It's 7:40, and then Wednesday is a 1:10. So it'll be some late post-game shows for the next 2 nights and then a normal-ish time on Wednesday. So one of us will be here. We'll deliver you guys the post-game show. But Phillies win 6-0. Have another phenomenal outing, another shutout, 3rd of the season. Hopefully they can get to 4 or 5. We'll see. But Philly go on to play the Twins in the next series, 3-game series. Then they go home to play the Guardians. So we'll see you guys back here tomorrow. On that note, everybody have a good night. See ya.
The Titans!
Swing and a drive, left field. It's gone! And it's gone! It is Bedlam at the bank!
The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
I can't hear you. Podcast.